Krishna 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 Krishna
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 16th Leadership Lecture of TAPME Manipal. I am Vinod Madhavan, faculty member of TAPME, and I am your master of ceremony for today's event. I request our director, Dr. R.C. Natarajan, to escort our chairman, Dr. Ramdas Pai, and a speaker for today evening, Shri Vinod Rai, to the dais, please. We have a very eminent speaker and an accomplished personality who will speak on importance of good governance for sustained economic development. The topic is very apt in the current context, and to do justice to the topic and to a speaker, I request all of you to kindly switch your phones off or put it onto the silent mode. Thank you. We will commence the 16th leadership lecture by lighting the lamp and invoking the blessings of the Almighty. I request our speaker, Shri Vinod Rai, our chairman, Dr. Ramdas Pai, Mrs. Ramdas Pai, and our director, Dr. R.C. Natarajan, to kindly light the lamp.
वैकुण्डाधिपं विबुधगणार्चितं वैकुण्डाधिपं विबुधगणार्चितं श्रीललिताम्बिका सोतरं परं पूर्णत्रयेशम् आश्रये अक्षयभक्तिसं सीधये अक्षयभक्तिसं सीधये.
Thank you. I now request our director, Dr. R.C. Natarajan, to welcome the gathering.
Good evening. When Mr. Somnath Das called me one day and said, Prof, when is your next leadership lecture? I hadn't really thought about it at the time. It was sometime in the month of late January. I said, how about March? We seem to be free at the time. He said, would you like Mr. Vinod Rai to address your students? I said, Vinod who? Couldn't believe for a while. He said, Mr. Vinod Rai, you don't know him? I said, of course I have read, but then you don't mean the Vinod Rai? He said, yes. He said, does that impress you? I said, of course, we would love to. That's how this event was organized, through one phone call. I'm really privileged today, sir. Welcome. It's so nice of you to be here today. It's a little difficult to believe that we have him here, because I realized that I've heard of 3-digit salary, then later 4-digit salary, 5-digit salary. Now we are talking about a 13-digit corruption in this country. And I realized that there is something called 176,000 crores. I never knew that that number existed in my life. So that person is with us today to talk on a very interesting topic. And corruption nowadays is the topic that enthuses all of us. And in organizing this event, we always have the total support of our chairman, Dr. Ramdas Bhai. Sir, I welcome you too. I welcome Mrs. Ramdas Bhai, the Vice Chancellor, the other dignitaries, the faculty members, the press, and the students of TAPME and other institutions. Welcome one, welcome you all.
Thank you, sir. I now request our speaker to accept a small floral welcome. And also to our chairman, Dr. Ramdas Bhai. I also request Dr. Vidya Pratap to welcome Mrs. Ramdas Bhai. Thank you. Okay, I have the privilege of introducing our speaker, Shri Vinod Rai. Shri Vinod Rai has a master's degree in economics from Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. He has a master's degree in public administration from Harvard University, USA. He joined the Indian Administrative Service in 1972 and was from the Kerala cadre. Shri Vinod Rai has wide experience of working in various capacities in the state government of Kerala as well as in the federal government. His assignments in the state government included stints as Secretary, Agriculture, Principal Secretary, Finance, and Managing Director, Kerala State Cooperative Marketing Federation, besides being the District Collector in Thrissur District, Kerala. At the federal level also, Shri Vinod Rai has held senior positions. These include being Deputy Secretary in Ministry of Commerce, Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Defense, and Secretary Ministry of Finance. He has served as a director on the boards of State Bank of India, ICICI Bank, IDBI Bank, Life Insurance Corporation of India, and Infrastructure Development and Finance Company of India. Shri Vinod Rai took over as the Comptroller and Auditor General of India on 7 January 2008. As the Comptroller and Auditor General, his responsibilities in the international arena included chairmanship of the UN Panel of External Auditors and membership of the governing board of the International Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions, also popularly known as INTOSAI. Shri Rai was also the chairman of the governing board of the Asian Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions, also known as ASOSAI. He demitted the office of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India on 22nd May 2013. Shri Rai is a very, very keen tennis player. His interests include gardening and mountaineering. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Shri Vinod Rai.
Shri Ramdas Pai, Mrs. Pai, Dr. Hasin Natarajan, Dr. Ramnarayan, Vice Chancellor, members of TAPME, and members of the larger Manipal Education City. I'm indeed privileged to have the honor to deliver the 16th Leadership Series lecture in your distinguished institution. I'm grateful to Dr. Ramdas Pai, the Chancellor, for affording me this rare privilege. After I came to Manipal this morning, I realized that it was my first visit to Manipal. I'm singularly unlucky in the fact that over a career of 40 years that I spent in the Kerala cadre, I could not visit Manipal earlier, because I believe in a large number of ways, coming to Manipal is like coming for an educational pilgrimage. And this unique model, which was conceptualized and launched in the early 1950s, speaks volumes about the visionaries of the founders of the institution. The model has presented itself, has authenticated itself, and has gained acceptance globally as an exemplary example of how a center of excellence can be created. I take this opportunity to congratulate each one, from Dr. Ramdas Pai to faculty members and the students who have contributed into creation of this legacy for this institution, which resonates all over the world. So I consider faculty members and students both alike to be very fortunate in getting an opportunity to be serving in an institution of the kind that we have in Manipal. The subject which has been assigned to me originally had a lot to do with corruption. And I think Dr. Natarajan gave me the subject of, is corruption that is killing or cancer of the nation? Certainly is not. But I thought that would be a very negative subject to be speaking about. So I chose for myself the fact that each one of us present here today, you and I, more the younger lot of people present in this auditorium today, people whom I would like to refer to as Gen Next, are the ones who are going to create a new India which will bring us onto the sustainable path of rapid economic development, where our objective, our stated objective of India becoming a superpower more as an economic superpower, will be realized when each one of you get an opportunity to contribute to the building of this great nation. Now let me take you back in history to give you a perspective of what I propose to place before you. The commencement of the present millennium, 14 years back, for India was very exciting and rewarding, if you all recollect. It helped provide the comfort that the vibrant democracy of which we are so proud of, vibrant democracy that we practice in this country, is capable of delivering near to double-digit growth. At the turn of the millennium, we had consolidated upon the reforms of 1991. That was the time when we could withstand the shock of 1997. That's when the Asian Tigers folded up. We were successful in debunking the myth in the turn of this millennium. The myth of what? The myth which had got attached to the Indian economy for 40 years. It was called the Hindu rate of growth. Hindu rate of growth is associated with 3%, 3.5% rate of growth, and that's the rate at which the economy had grown over the first 40 years after independence. It was only at the turn of the millennium that we grew at an average of about 8%. And that was roughly around the time when the financial meltdown hit us, maybe 2007, maybe 2008. That was not very bad for us, not too bad for our financial institutions. But the economic effects of that financial meltdown were the ones which has hit the country hard, and the consequences of which we are facing today, which had hit us because today all economies are plugged into each other. The global economy is one large economy. So the effects of one has to peter down, cascade down to the others. But 2012 in this millennium will go down into history of this country as the year in which the citizen came center stage. If you will all remember the unfortunate event that took place with a lady in New Delhi on the 16th of December 2012, after which all the young people who felt of the wrongdoing that had happened descended upon the streets of Delhi, Jantar Mantar, India Gate, whatever it was, not because they were summoned or asked to come there, but by the power of the social media. Voluntarily, they came onto the gates or the lawns of India Gate, maybe to light a candle, maybe to just sit there and wonder what had happened to society. That was a defining moment in the history of this country. Why? Because that was the time when people of your age, the young population which is in front of me today, decided that they will debunk yet another myth which has dogged not only this country, any other country, the myth of what is otherwise referred to as the silent majority. We have always grown up, I have grown up hearing that the majority always remains silent. It's some elements in society or in maybe in your class or maybe in the institution who only speak up. And hence the myth of what is known as the silent majority. That silent majority had decided to speak up. That silent majority had taken center stage. That silent majority had come onto the streets of Delhi and said, no longer will we indulge in drawing room discussions and TV debates. We will come onto the street and ask of that who is in power, maybe the political executive, maybe bureaucrats like me, hold them accountable for what is happening. That is that silent majority which says that in a democracy of the kind that we practice, we need to participate in governance. And I think that is just about the best thing that has happened